Ugh, that was a really bad internet outage. It usually just cuts in and out in like just for like 1 second, but this one was out for like 5 minutes. Like, what the fuck? I would definitely be working on this shit if I didn't plan on moving, but I think your chat just glitched. No, it was my entire internet. Some sort of DNS server issue. It was not just the chat. It was a lot of stuff going out. Your stream was still up. We heard your breathing. No, my internet definitely cut out. For sure. That's just you imagining like some sort of psychosexual version of me existing in your walls. We still saw the buffering. I mean, if you were seeing something that was like me from 10 minutes ago, as the internet was struggling to do something. It was just your chat. You were here until you restarted. Bro, I literally could not load internet pages, and my YouTube streaming cut out. There might have been a period in which you still had connection, but at some point the internet was completely out. This is why I don't ever start masturbating just because I think the stream has cut out, because I know you guys are all lurking and watching. You do drugs? No, I do not. Japan Internet Berry Pro. To be fair, this is the same internet company that was being used by my like 80-year-old aunt, so I'm sure she didn't even notice the slightest amount of like internet issues because she's a fucking, you know, giga boomer. I would do something about it, but I plan on moving soon, so I don't really want to have to fuck with utilities when I'm going to have to fuck with utilities. After we get my hemorrhoids fixed, we're going to start apartment hunting in a different city. That is the plan. Jesus fucking Christ. Ugh. We might not be able to be streaming today, chat. We're gonna find out, I guess. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here and seeing if my stupid fucking internet can recover on its own, which it was able to, I guess. Hopefully it's a perma fix. I haven't fixed anything. Had fun without us? Yes, I can actually focus on drawing when I don't have chat distracting me. But yeah, this is a pretty serious problem, I guess. Honestly, if I really want to get work done, I need to have like nothing going on in the background, including just like having YouTube and stuff running in the background. I can't really do more than one thing at once. Is something I've figured out. It's very difficult for me. Not even music or podcast? I don't know. The problem is that if I'm listening to like music or podcast, I either get bored with the music or the podcast, and then I want to like switch it, and then I spend like 10 minutes looking for something new. Like I don't want to provide myself with any excuse for like stopping halfway, I guess. That being said, it's pretty rare for me to like go all in pure focus mode. I know this is the truth, but I still very rarely just like activate the put in earplugs and just like draw in silence for 3 hours mode, because I don't actually have any deadlines and shit. But if I actually truly had to get something done on time, I would have to like sacrifice all background noise and shit. Haven't found that surefire way to enter a flow state? I have. It's turning off all distractions. I just don't want to do that because it forces my brain to, actually be focused. And I'll have to use a lot of my brain power. If it goes out again with this end stream, we'll make it. I was assuming that most people wouldn't come back anyways. I was already drawing, so I was just like not doing anything. And I was just like, I'm not gonna fiddle with this. If the stream dies, whatever. It's not my problem. But it did come back. I'm just sitting here while drawing, so... Oh! Have the Knicks lost yet? If they were up by 50, that means they're going to have a epic collapse, right? NBA games. Knicks won by 60 points. No, only 50 points. Okay, it wasn't that bad then. LMAO. What the fuck? I thought the Hawks were a relatively competent team. I'm glad I'm not a gambling man, because if I felt like obliged to put money on shit, Knicks-Hawks Game 6 kind of felt like one in which we would actually get like a relatively close game, or even a Hawks win and push it to 7. I would have definitely lost the point spread on that one. It's very hard to predict this shit. LMAO, the Sixers are up on the Celtics by 20 in the third quarter. Jesus. Celtics fans are gonna cope and be like, we weren't supposed to be good this year anyways. This was supposed to be a tanking year when we waited for Jason Tatum to come back, is what they're gonna say. We never thought we were gonna win a championship, this is all fine, when they were 100% talking about how the Celtics were gonna win a championship like a week ago. Fuck Boston. I just hope all the teams have a fun time. I do not. My hatred of things is what motivates me. The Hawks definitely had zero fun. They had a little bit of fun just by not having Trae Young on their team anymore. That alone is probably an improvement in their life quality. The Knicks are a weird-ass team. There are times where they 100% feel like they could just win a championship this year. And there are other times in which it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with this team? Are they just going to lose in the first round? The shape of this hair right here on this side, I don't really know what's going on, how it should look like. They either soar or choke. It probably has to depend on how much God hates New York on every given week. If it was New Orleans, I could be like, just like the Katrina, it's being caused by aborted fetuses or something. I was gonna say whether James Dolan is properly performing the baby sacrifices to make his team win, but we know for a fact that James Dolan is shit at everything, so I'm sure he's not performing the correct demon sacrifices as well. So it wouldn't be inconsistent because it would always be bad. There's no way James Dolan would be a reliable, like, demon sacrifices kind of guy. He'd probably fuck some of the ingredients up. It'd be like the demon would specifically ask for a virgin or something, and he just wouldn't get the right virgin sacrifice. And also he doesn't really care about. Like, he's too egotistical to actually, like, sacrifice something, so, yeah. By that logic, New York City would have won a championship in 2002. Dolan is the ultimate curse on us. It could be worse. There's literally worse owners in the NBA. I know it's hard to believe. For example, look at the Chicago Bulls, LMAO. Or the Kings, for example. What's his face? The former Clippers owner, LOL. Donald Sterling. I've said that Istrixio's father is checking all the boxes of negative Jewish stereotypes, but Donald Sterling was also doing that, by the way. His name is literally Sterling to begin with. He was a slumlord real estate owner, and he got in trouble. He was also extremely cheap despite being a fucking NBA team owner, where the NBA team kept on gaining shitloads of value compared to what he originally paid for it. And then he gets in trouble by getting caught on tape by his biracial mistress as he was bad-mouthing Magic Johnson during a NBA game, of all situations. And then his controlling wife retains the power of to sell the team by claiming that he's mentally ill. So you can also check the box of his wife is controlling him as well. Literally every stereotype. The stereotypes exist for a reason. We did have a Russian NBA team owner for a brief amount of time who had made his fortune in like a Putin-endorsed nickel mine business. He was lavish and he spent a lot of money for a very brief amount of time. And there were all these videos of him like hanging out with Russian models and doing tricks on jet skis and shit. And then he decided he didn't want to lose all this money and then he quickly exited the business. We don't know if he had anyone killed. So he didn't really score a 10 out of 10 on the stereotype card, but it was pretty close. He was definitely her piggy. I forgot her name, but she was like twice his size, so... She definitely was the big winner in that whole transaction, I believe. I guess the NBA was also a big winner because they were finally able to get Donald Sterling out of the league. Something that they were secretly trying to do for a really long time. I think this is too much right here. Besides the offensive Jewish stereotypes of Donald Sterling, we also have offensive Jewish stereotypes of Indians with the Kings owner Vivek Ranadive, who hits the stereotypes of making a lot of money in tech, thinking he knows better than everybody, and then like shitting the bed and being a really bad at business for many, many years in a row, which is quickly becoming a dominant Indian stereotype thanks to all the Microsoft CEOs pushing AI and shit. The Microsoft dude own a team. You are thinking of the current Clippers owner, not the previous Clippers owner. It went from Donald Sterling, who was extremely cheap, to Steve Ballmer, who owns like a shit ton of Microsoft stock. Is probably one of the richest team owners of any sport. He has a total finances of like $170 billion, which is why he tried to pay Kawhi Leonard under the table, and he did so through pretending to be financing this shell company that was all about like companies pretending that they were carbon neutral, called Aspiration. This was a huge scandal, except nobody really cared because it's the fucking Clippers. And the Clippers suck again, so... But yeah, Donald Sterling was like super cheap, and now Steve Ballmer has like a shit ton of money, and he's extremely willing to try and pay his way to a championship. But the Clippers kind of fuck up every time, so he keeps on failing. It's pretty funny. I like Steve Ballmer because he actually understands that the role as a owner, the only thing you can do as an owner to contribute to the team is to spend more money than other owners. And he is definitely willing to do it. It's way better to have a sports team owner that's willing to waste their money on the team and try and make the team better than a sports team owner that sees the team as like a money-making asset and doesn't actually invest in it and doesn't pay the players. So Steve Ballmer is an okay owner as things go. He actually cares about his team and he enjoys his team winning, so... Yeah, at least has the bare minimum of what you should expect out of a sports team owner. Oh, you're talking about Paul Allen. Yeah, Paul Allen hasn't been in the league in a while. Ballmer's wife bribed Governor Newsom to get his private club at the Clipper Arena. Later hours, it can serve alcoholic beverages. Yes, but Kawhi Leonard was definitely not getting paid under the counter to circumvent the NBA salary cap. That definitely didn't happen, guys. Pay no attention. Which NBA team deserves to be owned by Musk? The newly formed Las Vegas team, probably. Las Vegas doesn't really deserve to have nice things, so... Honestly, it would be the Clippers, actually. Ballmer should get the Seattle Supersonics. And then Elon should get the Clippers. The X-Lippers. What is it about our current generation of powerful men that seem to have not graduated from middle school? Like Elon being obsessed with the letter X. Like, that was shit that kids in, 7th grade, 6th grade went through. You're like, damn, this X letter, it's a fucking cool-ass letter. I'm gonna name my Xbox Live handle Sephiroth, XX Sephiroth 420XX. Alan Moore talked about this. Alan Moore talked about everything, it seems. Feels like being surrounded by yes men will do that to you. It's funny because if you're in Japan, like, nobody tries to actually call XX in America or the English-speaking areas, right? Because it's just such a cumbersome thing to do, is try and say X, formerly known as Twitter. That's almost like the entire name. It's like when Prince changed his name to a symbol, you had to always say, the artist formerly known as Prince. So everybody just calls it X, formerly known as Twitter. But in Japan, they actually call it X because the word X is just as, like, it sounds like a full word, It's ekusu, Like, they don't see it as this. They see it as this. Which is just as long as Sweet It's literally the same length. They're both 4 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically. Even the Japanese users don't call it X. Yeah, but they call it X way more often than they do in English-speaking countries. Way more often. It's like a 40% increase in people who actually call it X. It just shows you how willing Japanese are to go along with whatever bullshit, corporate bullshit gets thrown at them, where the corporation is like, you have to call this thing now, this is the new thing. So the Japanese are like, okay, sure. Whereas Americans are like, LMAO, no. We're gonna continue to call it Twitter. Fuck you, Elon. The Japanese, they are very cooperative socially, so they'll be like, okay, I guess it's a different name now. But I think a lot of it just comes from the language. Both Twitter and X are just like 4 letters in katakana in Japanese. Trying to repair his horrid childhood by doing all this bullshit that was cool when he was a kid. That probably comes from his desire to be good at video games. Probably comes from the same place. I feel like we could have avoided a lot of this bullshit if these billionaire fathers that these Nepo babies come from, like Trump and Elon, had properly loved their sons instead of being perpetually disappointed with them. If Daddy had paid attention to Trump and bought him that fucking sled. The sled's name was X. Yeah. Somebody use AI to produce a video of Elon on his deathbed, dying, and his final words as he whispers them to the camera as the reporter is nearby is X. And the reporter's like, "What's X? What's he talking about?" And then we go into a long flashback of Elon's life in which we try and figure the secret of X. X. We'll never know. The audience will all get up and clap. It's a masterpiece. Citizen Musk. I think most of Gen X is stuck with this idea of cool that was only in for like a year in the early 90s. That might be true. Skateboarding, slacking off, Doritos, that might be after Gen X. Elon probably loved hackers in an unironic way. It's crazy how much of the current technology is just like these Gen X billionaires trying to manifest what they thought was cool in 1992. And they haven't read much science fiction, but they've read some, and they're like, we're gonna have a Mars base. And then we have all these like tech reporters being like, Elon says we'll have a Mars base, guys. That's definitely gonna happen because he's just gonna manifest it into reality, right? Right? Elon Musk's updated Mars timeline focuses on launching the first uncrewed Starship missions to Mars around 2026-2028, with crewed landings potentially following in 2030 or 2031. Guys, only 5 more years. Any day now. First crewed mission as early as 2029. Oh boy, in 3 years we're going to be sending people to Mars. Surely Elon would not lie to us. He's read enough to name his AI after a term from Stranger in a Strange Land. What was the name of his Misa-themed anime girlfriend on Grok? Did she have a name? Ani, like anime? It was so funny that it was just Misa. I mean, when they asked Elon what his favorite anime was, I think he had Death Note in it, right? Elon's favorite anime. Over the past years, Musk has revealed his favorite anime titles on X, which included many anime classics, i.e. the most normie of normie shit, which he looked up on the internet when he typed in best anime. Death Note, Evangelion, Full Metal Alchemist, Princess Mononoke, and Ghost in the Shell. You could not have a more normie I want to get into anime, let me type on the internet what anime I should watch list than fucking this shit. It is like, I'm sure he's only seen like 5 minutes of each of these. That it might be even being generous. He'd probably have seen 0 minutes of any of them. At first glance, these picks may seem like normal choices. Those of any curious anime fan. That's what we're calling people who haven't watched anime. A curious anime fan. That's kind of like calling me a curious homosexual. I'm bi-curious. It's like, dude, you're either gay or you're not. Remember when him and Grimes had matching PFP of the MCs from Oreimo? I remember. I do not remember that. I'm glad I don't waste my time following Elon and Grimes. What does PFP stand for? Pick. Elon probably watched Afternoon Toonami in the late 90s? Maybe. Elon is such a poser, it's hard to assume that he has consumed any of the things he's claimed to consume. No matter how fucking casual. Profile picture. See, I've become extreme uncle. Actually, I think that's an uncle term right there. Do we even call them PFPs? I think they still do. What do we call our handle name? Nobody says DPS, bro. I promise you it's PFP or AVI. There's too much acronyms that start as DPS. You already have damage per second, and then referring to your MMO class as a DPS. And then you can get it mixed up with DSP when you're talking about Dark Side Phil. Sometimes I just want to be one of those guys to be actually based. I mean, you have Henry Cavill, right? I think we have enough information that shows that Henry Cavill is a legit, like, you know, fucking neckbeard, except he looks like Superman instead of a poser. That's about as close as you're probably gonna get. Unfortunately, he's more of like the Giga Chad archetype instead of the billionaire archetype. It just shows you that having a lot of money is not a substitute for being an interesting human being. Henry Cavill is a nerd, but a very normie one? I don't know. Once he starts getting... I feel like if you start caring about like 40k, you're getting out of the normie zone and into the neckbeard zone. I know there's a lot of 40k people or like Warhammer Fantasy people who are like, no, 40k is the most normie shit. Everybody likes Space Marines, but I assure you that is not the case. If you're at a bar and you're talking to a female, there's probably a much higher chance that she knows what Death Note is than being like, excuse me, ma'am, who is your favorite Primarch? I personally consider myself a Blood Angel fan. He walked off a job because it wasn't lore accurate. To be fair, it wasn't just like lore accurate. We were getting into like serious, like just raping the original text kind of territory with Witcher, I believe. So, or was that 40k which he walked off of? Either way, it probably wasn't just like, actually, sir, the number of screws on that spaceship is incorrect. It's more like, we're just gonna change literally everything. Stuff that would make even the most casual fans of the original text probably just absolutely infuriating. Cavill was a bad cast for Witcher anyway. His muscles are too poofy. They needed a more grizzled guy instead of Cavill. Cavill is a perfect Superman, though. He's a perfect Superman, but not a very good Geralt, I would say. Casting is difficult. People turned on that Witcher show real quick. Must have been a total disaster. They turned on it in like season 2 and 3, I believe. It got progressively more and more disastrous. I swear Cavill has been in one good film his entire career, LMO. I liked him in Mission Impossible when they had him grow a mustache to show he was evil. He looked very gotchy. You're just chilling out in the bathroom when this gachi-muchi mustache guy in a suit attacks you. What will you do now? Henry Cavill shows up and he's like, I'm gonna suck your cock right now. And you're like, no, please! Henry-san, don't suck my penis! And he's like, you don't have a choice in this matter. Henry looking around the corner to see if this is a gay bathroom. Oh no! Not the bathroom sex scene! Feels good, fan. We need more mustache guys. It's like my gay Comey. The problem with growing a mustache now is that it just automatically makes you look gay. Like, really gay. Not just like kind of gay, but like giga super hyper gay. Like, thanks to the mustache, all I can feel from this intense stare is the strong, powerful lust he feels for my cock. Gay, pedophile, or cop? Alcoholic cop, probably, yeah. Viltrumites. Also gay, by the way. It's real, I'm super gay for a good mustache. It just instantly categorizes you. I tried growing a mustache after I got a new haircut in Japan because I felt like the current haircut would go well with a mustache, and it kind of did go well, but I was also like, man, I could not look more gay if I tried, so I decided to shave it. Like, let's take Mr. A and try and figure out facial hair patterns. We take this. Pattern A. Just full face stubble. This is just like General Chad, right? But instead of this, what if, ta-da! Wow. Suddenly he looks insanely gay. How does that work? Shocking, really. And now, we can transition from being gay to a pedophile by extending the mustache down like this. Now, you're definitely, we're talking about child molester now. This is 2010 hipster trying really hard to look masculine. I feel like 2010 hipster, you get like the full face beard though. 2010 hipster is more like this. This is the hipster. You just drew my baby daddy. Does he drink Pabst Blue Ribbon? Or a similar... How the fuck did Pabst Blue Ribbon become? I guess it's the same as the beard. They were like, I am very unmasculine. I must consume masculine beverage of blue-collar workers. He drinks Tempranillo and bourbon. Isn't PBR just an easy drinking beer? I mean, it's easy drinking, but it was originally in the category of cheap beer that you could buy on a budget, and then like a bunch of hipsters attached themselves to it, being like, I am a proletariat. I'm just like that steel worker. I will drink this cheap beer to show how masculine I am, and also grow out a beard. I don't know if it's still in the Brooklyn hipster category, but it was for a while. In Trumplandia, beers are to hide your poor jawline. See, now that you mention it, now we have to post the image. The cursed image. Every time you guys talk about Aquafina, I have to play the Aquafina song. And every time you talk about hiding your jawline, we have to post the image. Which one of the beardless Vance images is the most cursed? I think it's the one where his eyes kind of look kind of shiny. He looks so feminine without a beard. This one looks pretty bad right here. He just has an extremely fat face. It's just too round in general. My hot take, beer is vile and does nothing. Yes, we should only drink vodka. Imagine this guy staring deep into your eyes as he prepares to make love to you. He loves you despite the fact that you're an Indian woman. He forgives you for not being white. Oh, is this not Vance? I literally can't tell. I actually thought it was the same person. Real working class alcoholics drink Fireball, whiskey, and Bud Light. I don't know. Wouldn't you go for like even cheaper options though? This is a good thing to ask AI. Cheapest hard liquors available in US. The cheapest hard liquors in the US often include budget-friendly, high-proof options like Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, $20. Teacher's Highland Cream Scotch, $12 to $15. This sounds like possibly the absolute worst shit you could ever drink. $12 Highland Cream Scotch. This has got to be the worst thing This will, if you want like the worst hangover possible, this has got to be it, right? A $12 fucking scotch that comes in a plastic bottle because you're gonna drop it and break it because you're so fucking drunk. Costco's Kirkland brand offers some of the lowest prices per volume on gin, whiskey, and tequila. Kirkland vodka. LMAO. That's when you know you've got the quality, baby. That Kirkland label at the top of the fucking glass right here. Vodka in these like fashionable letters, and it fucking says Kirkland at the top. Once you're... Holy shit, look at the size of this thing. Is this like an actual photo? This can't be real, right? This has got to be Photoshopped. There's no way this bottle is fucking this large. Where you can buy Costco's Kirkland vodka. How does Kirkland vodka taste? When the French version of Kirkland vodka is put up against Grey Goose in blind taste test, it scores about the same or sometimes even better. Yeah, because vodka just tastes like vodka. The biggest fucking scam in drinking alcohol, besides the fact that you're paying money to poison yourself, is trying to convince you that Grey Goose is like a quote-unquote premium vodka. It's fucking vodka. It only just tastes like vodka. There isn't any fucking extra taste. It's just alcohol. Relevant to this drawing I'm drawing right now. Oh, I should have her be given a bottle of Kirkland vodka. That will really explain the image. Where can we fit the bottle? Pretty much all of the actual cost of alcohol is brand name. No, that's not true. My favorite brand is triple distilled in the most purest, coldest mountain stream. My Coors advertisement told me. I can taste how clean it is. Yeah. It's so refreshing and pure. Diddy said that his vodka was the best. Grey Goose didn't sell worth shit until they raised the price as a marketing gimmick. It really is silly, isn't it? Oh, I better buy the more expensive version of vodka. It must be premium. In Japan, you have the equivalent of Kirkland vodka. It's called Top Value, which is the largest chain for Aeon. There's an Aeon in my area as well. This is like the shopping mall chain. So you get your fucking, oh shit. You know you're in Japan when you get your whiskey in a goddamn paper carton. Like you're buying fucking milk. 37% alcohol in your milk carton full of whiskey. Japan takes their alcoholism very seriously, which is why you can get your alcoholic reloading stuff in your paper cartons. Just from my childhood, we've always had this thing. It's called onigoroshi. You get these giant fucking packs of sake. But it's just a great name because it means like killing the oni. I assume from liver cirrhosis. Japan has Nika whiskey. Unfortunately, the proper whiskey brands were discovered by foreign whiskey consumers, and they found out that Japanese whiskey was really good for its price, and then now the price is awful because too many foreign buyers were buying like Yamazaki whiskey and shit like that, so I grabbed the juice bar version of that when I'm walking home. Death Striker, you are literally like the ugly bastard Oji-san. You want to go to pachinko parlors and you're buying sake in paper packs. That is 100% Oji-san behavior right there. Alright, now that we've entered the discussion about alcohol, which I will never be drinking ever, I think we can end the stream. See you around, guys. Sorry about the stream crashing twice. Hopefully it'll get better, although I'm not going to do anything to make the situation better. Good night, guys. Have a nice night. See you around.